Hey there, welcome back to Featherwood Farm. We are in the cottage garden in the raised bed areas. I'm about to plant a bunch of seed potatoes as well as some bare root strawberries that I just got in. The variety is completely slipping my mind. I'll have to post that, but they both came from Urban Farmer. Urban Farmer is where I get my seed potatoes every year. They have a nice variety and I always have success growing them. Last year, I did get some wireworm damage to my actual potato harvest. That's no fault to the seed potatoes. They're in the soil. They're those little kind of red, squirmy, mealwormy looking things, and they will eat your potatoes, which are a tuber. They will eat your dahlia tubers, and that was actually the cause of some of my dahlia tuber loss last year as well. But what can you do? So I'm gonna get these seed potatoes planted, get these bare root strawberries planted. I have a little bit more space in the bed that I already have with the strawberries. So I'll pack a few more in there, and then I think I will have to hop over into another bed. We're actually pretty fortunate because the deer really came in after the strawberries really hard, but they rebounded, and actually, as I'm looking at them right now, some of them have flowers on them, so that is exciting and feels early, but so does so many other things. So let's get started on that. Okay, so you can see right here, I have already dug out this trench just using my hoe. It's, I'd say, about 6 inches deep. And then I'm gonna get these planted, cover them with the soil. Um, Here is my tray of seed potatoes. I've already gone through and cut them into smaller pieces. And I did something different this year that I've never done before, and I let them callus over for a few days. So I cut them, I think, about 3 days ago, and just let them sit in my kitchen in this tray to kind of harden. I had read that that helps prevent them from rotting in the ground, which isn't something that I've had an issue with in the past, but we have had a lot of rain as of late, and I figured it couldn't hurt. So we'll see how they do having let them callus over for, like I said, I think 3 or 4 days. Um, and I have way more than I'm going to need. I might put more in a different bed, I'm not sure. Um, but yeah, the quantity that you get is, way more than I'm going to use up, especially after cutting them into smaller pieces. But this is a variety mix. So I have regular gold, small fingerling purples, and some reds. And again, I will put the exact varieties on there. And I'm not sure why I'm on this side. So my trench is about 6 inches deep. I'm just going to grab a handful. We'll do all purple on this side. And I'm going to space them about 12 inches apart. And then I'll put another trench over here, which will be about 2 foot away from this trench. Repeat it on the other side here. And yeah, not going to get a ton planted in here, but they produce a lot per seedling anyway. You can see right there we have a really good eye started. So we'll put that face up. So I should be able to get 4 per row nicely. And potatoes tend to like a kind of free drained soil. So that's where it's nice planting these in a raised bed. I've also grown them in those fabric bags as well and worked out just as nicely. I know I've seen it done growing them in like kind of compost pile using welded wire and bring them up. I've never tried that, but maybe in the future. Okay, got some chunks in there. This is one of the newly filled raised beds. And this is a different soil mixture than I got last year. Uh, Last year, what I ordered was supposed to just be a straight compost, and it seemed very hydrophobic to me. It didn't really want to absorb much water. It kind of just formed this crust layer on the top, and all of my water just seemed to run down. So this one is a mixture of compost and like a topsoil. We'll see how it performs. Unfortunately, even though I'm near a pretty large city center, um, there is a company that kind of has a monopoly on landscape supplies around me. There's pretty much only one place nearby that I can order in from. There are a few other places kind of on the outskirts, but delivery for any bulk material like that can get pretty costly, as well as the material price itself. So I'll see how this soil performs. Fortunately, I don't think I'll be purchasing any more raised beds because I have nowhere to put them. So this should be it. And I'll be able to add my own compost in the years to come to top dress. So I'm trying to make sure that I plant a variety of colors in here because I love colorful potatoes. I enjoy making like purple mashed potatoes for people and seeing them quite shocked. Also, small fingerling potatoes and like a breakfast hash is delicious. Actually, any kind of potato, I don't know if I'm kidding. I could survive off of starches alone. Like, my mind could. My body could not. Now, I didn't actually come across any wire worms today, just now, digging these trenches. Ooh, that's a good sign. So as you can see, I have a lot of seed potatoes left. I might put some in another raised bed if I have some room. I might yank some of these tulips that are gone over and put some more potatoes in there. And I have one grow bag that I can fill and use. But other than that, it is what it is. Might be able to give some to friends and family. Okay, here is the strawberry raised bed, which I have not weeded in a bit, so let's go ahead and do that. So many dandelions. Last year I had ordered in at the end of the season, which is not the ideal time to plant strawberries. Um, but I had gotten a really good price on some bare roots, and planted those over in rows, and they were doing well enough considering, they were planted in like the heat of full summer. But then the limb off of the willow tree broke and pretty much killed them all before I could get that removed and cleaned up. I think I had a few that survived and I had planted in here. A lot of these are plants formed from the runners of the original mother plants. And if it's picking up, let's see. Little flowers. These, if you're ever curious, are the Dutch elm Siberian. No. These, if you're ever curious, are the Siberian elm. I think it's also been called the Chinese elm that I'm always complaining about in our front yard. They also, I mean, they grow throughout this entire property. But these are their seedlings. And so you can see this is all the root. Tiny little plant. And so once they get to, 6, 8, 12 inches, they become quite difficult to actually just pull out of the ground, and they can germinate better than anything I've ever experienced. Seems like they will grow in any conditions, in any soil, sometimes not even in soil. They are a real nuisance. Okay, I didn't bring my pruners with me to kind of clean up some of these old runners that are dried up, but that should be fine. Yeah, there's really no space. I might be able to squeeze one here. Okay, so I had just opened the package with the bare roots, and soaked them for about 2 hours. And apparently they were flowering in their packaging. So, ready to get in the ground. And there she is. About all I can squeeze in that part. Okay, these are chives. I have two chive plants, which apparently the deer like as well because they ate them like down to nothing. I did not think that they would come back, but they did, and they look great. Now I might actually get to harvest some this year. I don't know, however, if chives and strawberries are particularly good companions. Um, I didn't actually set out with the intention of putting them together. It kind of just sort of happened last year. So I will double check. I have a quite lovely companion planting book that I use, reference a lot, and I will consult that and see if they're okay to be together. I mean, this strawberry is growing right in them, so they seem to be okay, but we will see. Okay, so this is the bed that I was on the other half. I had my mint growing, and I have actually removed a lot of the mint. Uh, this we've grown mint, it's quite a zealous plant. And I have a couple of plants left, and I think I'm going to actually remove those as well and put them in containers and probably use this whole bed space for the rest of these strawberries. When I ordered more plants, I had every intention of building one of those really fun, like strawberry towers, but I that gives myself a lot of work to accomplish in a short period of time. And that did not make the priority list early in the season. So if I happen to finish it, later in the season, then that'll be great. Oh, that's really pretty. Um, and I'll just transplant the strawberries. It is with much sadness that I report that the picket fence still is not done. It's just like you can't get a break from the rain recently, and I'm hoping very soon, the month of May, it will be done. But that just means that I will have to kind of wrap something around this bed as well to keep not only the deer out, but my chickens, because they will come through here and scratch these right up. Okay, this hatch is planted. All right, so that's my mint. Um, this one I think was like a pineapple mint. I can't remember. Um, and then I had just a regular peppermint and then a chocolate mint. And I don't know who is who over there. They have really grown together in this kind of beautiful, dense, delicious smelling cluster, sending off their little runners. But I actually don't have um, very many bare roots left, so I don't think I'll need to pull those out just yet. I'm just doing this to make sure that I got all of the pieces of mint out that I possibly can before I plant these strawberries in. Okay, and it's not much to look at right now. You can kind of barely see them poking out of the ground, but very soon they will be. And I will come through and kind of extend this portion of the fence around here to keep some of my ladies like cheeks out. This is where we just planted a couple of those others. And I really have to get the weed whacker in here, order another chip drop, but I'm kind of waiting for the chip drop until the picket fence is built. There's our potato bed. And what I did not share was planting up lettuces and some tomatoes, which I can't even believe that I'm saying that I planted tomatoes in the first week of May. Normally our last frost is around May 12th, May 15th, somewhere in that area. But our forecast is warm, warm, warm. Warm days, warm nights. I've had these hardening off, so they are in. I figure since we are in this area, I will give you a little look at everything in here. So these are the tulips. This is the bed that did not get hit by the deer, obviously. And they're lovely. So right here is Angel's Wish and then Apricot Fox, which are quite lovely. Everything's a little bit spent. These Apricot Fox were probably the last ones I think to open in here. Then Apricot Pride, Foxy Foxtrot, which they're really blown open, but may just have been my favorite tulip of ever. Then Daydream and Foxtrot, which I think got mixed up in my notes. I believe that pink at the end is Daydream, and this very spent one is Foxtrot, which were the first to bloom. I think in the whole area, not just this whole bed. And then the second bed over here, quite possibly my favorite, Black Hero. The color is just phenomenal. I also grew Blue Diamond in the courtyard, which is also a double, very beautiful. It's not as dark as this though, but so good. I'm really drawn to these dark ones. This was Charming Beauty, which another favorite. I think if I do continue growing tulips in the future, I'm probably only going to do doubles. They're just the best. I don't know. But yeah, Charming Beauty, excellent. This is Fanola, also lovely. You can see some of them have a lot darker pink than others. And like I said, most of these, quite full blown. These were the last to open, and they're great. These are Amazing Parrot. They are so vibrant. They almost glow. I was able to harvest a bunch of these before they opened in time to sell at the farm stand when it opens next week for Mother's Day. They're in the fridge right now. Fingers crossed they do okay. And then over here, not much made it out of this row. These were Avignon, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. And then Queen of Night. So Queen of Night is a single, and this might be one of the only singles that I will grow, because again, I can't say no to that dark color. It's so good. Right here, I pulled out the ones that there was no hope of anything coming up, and I planted my lilies in there. So my lilies are coming up, looking good. Same in this section, and also across the way over here. Let's get the makeshift fences in. And then if we come across the way, I did not share the planting of these because it was just planting seeds. I don't know, kind of boring. But I have peas on either side of this trellis, which is just a little section of fencing held in place with some stakes. And then turnips and beets, which I need to come through and thin. And somehow an anemone. So if you can kind of see all these little holes, there is, I don't know if it's a rabbit, a squirrel, a chipmunk, you name it, we have it. And they're coming in and they're digging around, destroying ever so slightly some things. And it looks like they may have put in some anemone corms, because actually here's another one right there. So strange. And then on the other side, this is where they're really mucking about. I have more peas, and then it's all just a straight row of carrots, which, yeah, they're disturbing a little bit. I don't know what to do about them. You just kind of have to live with it, I suppose. And the next bed are the anemone and ranunculus, looking lush and lovely. Not yet sending up any bloom stalks. That's okay. The ones in the bulb crates that I started first actually are. They will be opening in a matter of days here now, so that's exciting. And same, I'm thinking a couple of the whatever squirrels, chipmunks came through and yanked some of my plants because I've got a big hole here and a big hole there. They did a little bit of maneuvering for me. And also pulled out all of my tags that I had labeling all these, so who knows what is going to grow where. It'll be a beautiful surprise. And the last really sad section of tulips right here, and I have a couple more that it looks like I can pull out and get in the cooler for the sale. So I won't have quite as many tulips to sell as I would have liked. Oh my goodness. Okay, these are lilies that I guess I missed part of the bulbs when harvesting last year. Coming through. Look at that. Bonus lilies. That's exciting. And these are the bulb crate ranunculus. As you can see, starting to really bud up. That one's fairly close to harvesting. Actually, it's quite a short stem on that one, but that's okay. Okay, and the rest is just mess and chaos. So thank you for joining me today, and we'll see you on the next video.